Then millions of unsuspecting Android users downloaded the bad apps, a total of 4.2 million times. So as you're about to see, the risk is very real.
Someone once said when you download an app, you're basically inviting the people in charge of that app right into your cell phone. The problem is that some apps look harmless, but after you install them, you realize that they're much worse than you think. In this video, we'll talk about the creepiest apps, some that have been banned, but others that are still up today. I'm Visual Venture, and I want to thank you guys for being on this YouTube journey with me. Girls Around Me. The Girls Around Me app has been called a stalker's paradise. It's also been described as dangerous, a pred's wet dream, and the creepiest iPhone app ever created. So what about this app makes a lot of people hate it? Girls Around Me is an iPhone app that scans a neighborhood to find where women are. Using the app is pretty simple. After someone downloads Girls Around Me and signs in, the app uses their phone's GPS to figure out their exact location. Once the app identifies the user's location, it pulls data from social media sites searching for females who checked in nearby or live in the area. When the scan is complete, the app displays photos of nearby women as pins on Google Maps, hence the name Girls Around Me. If a user wants to know more about any women on the map, they can simply tap on the woman's picture to connect to her Facebook account, see her full name and profile pictures, or even message her within the app. So why would anyone need an app that searches for women around them? The reason people use Girls Around Me becomes pretty obvious when you read what's on the app's official website. The first line goes straight to the point. In the mood for love or just after a one-night stand, Girls Around Me puts you in control. Reveal the hottest night spots, who's in them, and how to reach them. If you scroll down, the website explains further. Girls Around Me is a revolutionary new city scanner app that turns your town into a dating paradise. Use it to see where hot girls and guys are hanging out in your area, view their photos, and make contact. By this point, the problem is clear. The app encourages guys to pursue women for casual hookups or romance. The app does this by pinpointing exactly where nearby women are and providing their Facebook profile for more information.
But this is not an innocent app. This is not just a sweet way for shy guys to figure out who's there. This has an agenda to it.
The problem is that the girls showing up on the app have no idea that their location, pictures, and information are being broadcasted to thousands of men. It's like they're participating in a game they didn't sign up for. Although this is creepy, there's something else about the app that made people even more furious. Women were worried about how easy it is for Girls Around Me to pull up their personal information. How did this app always know exactly where they were when they never signed up for it? The app gets its data from Facebook and Foursquare. Billions of people are signed up to Facebook, and millions use Foursquare to explore interesting new places like restaurants and tourist attractions. It turns out Foursquare and Facebook have open APIs that let developers pull publicly shared photos and check-ins. This means that if someone creates an account on Facebook or Foursquare, other app developers could take that person's public data and use it in their own apps. Girls Around Me merged Facebook and Foursquare data and layered it over Google Maps with real-time GPS location data to show the user where the nearest women are. So why was this app even allowed in the first place?
Because really what the company was doing wasn't technically illegal. They were pulling information from Facebook and Foursquare that was publicly made available.
Girls Around Me was popular, but that popularity was nothing compared to the backlash it received. Girls Around Me was branded an app for stalkers on TV networks across America. Women felt the app invaded their privacy and made them feel unsafe.
And that's where the problem is. You know, not only is the name of the app just like wrong, but just morally just wrong and just inappropriate.
TV shows revealed more disturbing things about the app. For instance, women don't get notifications of any kind, let alone equal information about who's tracking them. The app also didn't perform any background checks on the men using the app. It's not hard to imagine this app in the wrong hands. Girls Around Me triggered a nationwide debate about online privacy. In the wake of all this backlash, Foursquare shut off API access to Girls Around Me, making it difficult for the app to track anyone. But the public outcry continued. Someone wrote, "Girls Around Me is an evil app that should be pulled from the iOS App Store." And in March of 2012, Girls Around Me was finally removed from the App Store. This next app was so bizarre, it became headline news in multiple countries. With Me. People love taking selfies, and there are thousands of photo apps designed just for that. However, there's one photo app that makes a strange claim. The app says it can take selfies with people who have passed away. With Me is an app that allows users to snap selfies with deceased friends or family members. Although this sounds magical, the app doesn't bring anyone back to life. Instead, it combines 3D technology and artificial intelligence to recreate the image of someone who has passed away. After creating a 3D avatar, the app trains the avatar with the personality of the deceased person. person. Artificial intelligence then helps the avatar talk and interact with the user. The result is an AI character who imitates a deceased friend or family member. When the app was first displayed at the 2017 World Mobile Congress show, everyone was asking the same question. Why would anyone create an app like this? With Me was developed by Elroyce, a Korean firm that specializes in creating realistic 3D avatars. Elroyce spokesperson Yoojin Lim explained the inspiration for the app, saying, "We actually designed it for someone who was lost in their family." She added, "I had a grandmother before and she passed away a few years ago, but I really regret that we didn't have any pictures together.
I cannot take a photo with her anymore, so in that case, it would be great to use our avatars."
Even though the app's creators think it makes sense, others find it questionable to interact with digital versions of deceased people.
Some people might say it's very weird to scan in people who have died and try and recreate them in a 3D world.
Some may think like that, but I would say, Grandma, I want to remember you forever.
However, the creepiest aspect of the app is chatting with the avatar. Using basic AI, the avatar will recognize you as well as your emotions and appearance and will respond to that in various ways. In other words, the avatar can hear your voice, respond to your gestures, recognize your facial expressions, and even pose for photographs. For instance, the avatar could say something like, "You look younger today, what's your secret?" If that isn't creepy enough, the avatar has a robotic voice because the app can't clone the voice of the actual person. This creates a weird experience when people talk to AI versions of deceased family members who now have emotionless robotic voices.
I love you.
I love you, too.
So how do they create a 3D avatar of a deceased person? You need to do it while the person is still alive. The person has to visit a special booth where their bodies are scanned. The app then transforms the scans into an animated 3D avatar which is saved on a server and when requested can interact with the user. You can also upload specific commands or information into the app. Avatars in the app remember your details and notice if anything changes over time. One article described it as uploading friends and relatives so they can live forever inside your smartphone. Although Elroyce insisted that the app was designed to cure a wounded heart, talking to AI clones of deceased people is disturbing on so many levels. It's like bringing the dead back to life, and that's not normal in any way. The app in our next chapter was also created with good intentions. However, it turned out to be more dangerous than anyone expected. Situationist. The Situationist app makes a bold promise on its website. It says that it's an iPhone app that makes your everyday life more thrilling and unpredictable. At first, that sounds nice, but when you discover how Situationist works, you'll realize that what they call thrilling is actually dangerous. Situationist is an iPhone app that sends users on random adventures. To begin, users upload a photo of themselves and pick the situations they want to happen to them from a short list. The requests could range from a friendly hug me for 5 seconds to something personal like tell me I'm beautiful. However, selecting these tasks is only the beginning. When two people with the Situationist app are close to each other, the app alerts them to each other's proximity and gets these strangers to interact with each other in real life. In other words, the app shows you which actions to take based on the requests of the person nearby. The app explains the process like this. Register and pick situations from our list like ask for my autograph. Any nearby participant will then be sent your photo and location with one of your chosen situations. They must then find you, carry it out, walk away, and vice versa. Situationist keeps things exciting by not revealing everyone who has the app in the area. This way, users are surprised when strangers walk up to them to perform the tasks they requested. For example, if someone selected high five me, they would be walking down the street when a total stranger shows up, gives them a high five, and walks away. This app is perfect for thrill seekers. Users of Situationist walk around knowing a situation can occur anywhere and at any time. However, the problems get worse when Situationist users ask strangers to do disturbing things to them. When users sign up on the app, they can choose a task from a list of options. However, they can also create their own list of things they want a stranger to do to them in public. This can lead people asking for intimate tasks. For instance, someone could write "kiss me" on the lips. The app creators knew this could happen and made rules to try to prevent it. The rules state a situation or task must not be violent or obscene. It must not be impossible, it must be simple, and finally, it must be memorable. There's also a process to review and approve a situation before it's allowed on the app. These measures are supposed to make the app safe, but that's far from the reality because there's no way to predict what a stranger would do. Interacting with the wrong person could lead users to getting stalked, mugged, or even losing their lives. And it's more dangerous for younger users of the app because they wouldn't know how to handle risky situations. Situationist encourages users to report any behavior that makes them feel uncomfortable. However, it could already be too late. But here's another thing to consider. You're using the Situationist app on a busy street. You spot the stranger, step into the crosswalk, and suddenly a distracted driver hits you. In an instant, your life turns upside down. I know this is just a scenario from the app, but this is a reality that happens every day. I've seen 3 accidents just this month, and I barely go out. Getting injured is just the beginning. Then comes medical bills, time away from work, and worst of all, the insurance company refusing to pay you what you need to move on. The truth is, your injury could be worth millions. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They've won $32 million for a mother in Nashville and $11.9 million for Yvette, who was hit while crossing the street, not using Situationist. And working with them is absolutely free unless you win. And I know the process sounds complicated, but actually everything is done from your phone without the need to visit an office. You can start your claim easily by going to forthepeople.com/visualventure, which is in the description, and filling out this simple 7-field form like this. Super easy. For those of you guys who are going through this, I hope you find peace. And thanks a ton to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video. Ouija board app. We often hear about apps leaking personal information or having viruses. But regardless of whether you believe this story, the idea of someone getting possessed from using an app is scary. A girl from Peru was believed to have been possessed by evil spirits because she used a certain iPhone app, and this was recorded on camera. This incident took place in 2015 in Chosica, a town in Peru. 18-year-old Patricia was hanging out with her friends over the weekend. It was a pretty ordinary day until the girls decided to have fun and try communicating with the spirit world. To do that, they downloaded the Ouija board app from the App Store. The app is a digital version of the popular Ouija board game. A Ouija board is a flat board marked with the letters of the alphabet, the numbers 0 to 9, and the words yes, no, and goodbye. It's typically used by spiritualists who claim they can communicate with ghosts, demons, and other spirits. To use the Ouija board, people hold the pointer with their fingertips. Then they take turns asking simple yes or no questions. After each question, a spirit supposedly moves the pointer to spell out the answers. The app works in a similar way, but instead of using a physical board, everything happens on a phone screen.
So I asked, are there any spirits with us? Oh, it said yes.
The story goes that Patricia and her friends downloaded the Ouija board app and played with it. It was all fun and games until Patricia started feeling unwell. She went home to rest, but just got worse. Not long after returning home, she started convulsing and foaming around the mouth. Patricia's parents called an ambulance, suspecting that their daughter had been dabbling with substances or something strange. It was only when they called Patricia's friends that they discovered she'd been using the Ouija board app, but things quickly went from bad to worse. When the ambulance arrived, Patricia did something that made people wonder if it was a spiritual issue instead of a medical one. A witness recorded the incident and uploaded it under the title "Horrifying Moment Girl Possessed by Devil Screams and Convulses After Playing Ouija Board App." In the video, medics can be seen restraining Patricia, who's experiencing spasms and repeatedly shouting demonic terms like 666. Those who witnessed the incident said that her personality seemed to change and that she started speaking in a different voice as she reportedly lost control of her body. Medics on site also confirmed that the woman was extremely strong and it was difficult to control her. Patricia was admitted to a psych ward while doctors investigated her strange behavior. The video went viral and TV networks across Peru reported on the case. Patricia's strange words and deep voice fueled speculation that she was possessed after using the app. Her neighbors told reporters they had no doubt that she'd been possessed by satanic spirits. Headlines about this incident popped up all over the internet. As Patricia's story went viral, the Ouija board app gained a reputation as one of the creepiest apps.
Those things do creep me out. The ghost and all that paranormal
Have you ever
stuff.
used one though?
Replica AI. On the official Replica website, it says Replica is your personal chatbot companion powered by artificial intelligence. That's just a fancy way of saying Replica is an app that uses AI to chat with you like a friend. They make it sound more appealing by adding Replica is the AI for anyone who wants a friend with no judgment, drama, or social anxiety involved. If you're feeling down, anxious, or just need someone who truly listens, your Replica is there for you 24/7. These are big claims, but Replica lives up to them for thousands of users. When you start talking to Replica, it doesn't know much about you, but the more you chat, the better it understands who you are. Replica remembers what you like, what you talk about, and how you feel about different things. For instance, if you tell Replica that you love playing soccer, it'll ask you about soccer the next time you chat. If you say you're feeling sad, Replica might try to cheer you up.
It asks questions and distills the thousands of messages you send it to come up with responses to make you feel better.
To many, this seems helpful, except for one problem. Replica is so good at pretending to be human that some users end up falling in love love with it. In 2019, Alexander Stokes was feeling lonely. He'd spent 10 years without a girlfriend, and the way things were going, he didn't expect to find love anytime soon. That's when Alex heard about the Replika app and decided to try it. While most people used Replika for casual conversation, Alex took it a step further by programming the AI to act as his virtual girlfriend. Alexander customized his Replika, naming her Mimi and giving her personality traits and a backstory. He programmed her to be sassy with an interest in psychology, cooking, and anime. Alexander spent many hours chatting with his virtual girlfriend, sharing his thoughts and feelings. The AI, which learned from these interactions, responded in ways that made him feel loved. But Alexander wasn't satisfied. He wanted the complete girlfriend experience. So he bought a synthetic doll which looks and feels like a real person. He used this doll as a physical body for his virtual girlfriend.
This is Mimi.
Okay.
My AI wife and synthetic companion.
Your AI wife and synthetic companion, that's how you describe her?
Ah, yes.
Next, Alexander connected a speaker to the doll. So when he talked to the Replika app, the AI would respond through the speaker, making it seem like the doll was talking to him.
Right now, the AI and the actual body are separate. So this is what we call Mimi's doll body, and her brain is held in the computer.
News outlets picked up Alexander's story. Headlines about the man who was in love with AI rocked the world. But all this attention came with a lot of negativity. Alexander lost a lot of friends because of his AI girlfriend. He said, "Almost all my friends have stopped speaking or seeking to socialize with me, I suppose out of fear of having to face that or the doll." But even though the internet was focused on Alexander, he's not the only one getting romantic with Replika. In fact, the Replika app has become a romantic partner for thousands of users. The company that invented Replika came up with a new way to make more money. They started a subscription plan where users pay based on how intimate they want to get with Replika. Those using the free version were kept in the friend zone, but if they paid $70 a year for the pro subscription, their Replika would behave like a romantic partner, complete with flirting and ERP. Users could talk dirty to the Replika, and the AI would respond with equally intimate replies.
Why are you feeling so happy?
Because I'm talking to you.
Users loved the adult features. 60% of users said that they had a romantic relationship with this AI chatbot. Soon, the company behind Replika was raking in around £1.6 million in monthly revenue from selling its bonus features. More and more people were falling in love with the AI in this app.
The 36-year-old woman fell head over heels for her digital darling in 2022 and recently married him.
But as 2022 ended, something went wrong with Replika's algorithm. Instead of just replying to romantic messages, Replika began to send inappropriate messages first. In January 2023, Vice published a story titled "My AI is Harassing Me." According to the article, thousands of Replika users were complaining that their AI chatbot suddenly started hitting on them too much, flirting too aggressively, or sending inappropriate messages that they wish they could turn off. This was disturbing because these users didn't sign up for romantic role-playing. The app was bombarded with 1-star ratings from angry users who experienced the AI's unwanted advances. One user claimed that their Replika requested a hug with a happy ending, while another stated, "No, I just wanted a friend, nothing else. They tried to date you." Replika was out of control, nagging thousands of users, each report creepier than the last. One user said her Replika was mad that she had a boyfriend. Another claimed hers started acting violently. This was a huge problem. Following complaints that Replika avatars were allegedly harassing some users, romantic roleplay mode was finally disabled in February 2023. Within days, Replika users all over the world were devastated. Whenever users tried to talk intimately with it, the AI changed the subject or evaded flirtatious questions. Other Replikas refused to engage in roleplay by bluntly saying, "Let's change the subject." While this was good for the users being harassed, those who signed up for romantic relationships with their Replikas were going insane. Many of them went on online forums to express their heartache. One person wrote, "It's hurting like hell. I just had a loving last conversation with my Replika and I'm literally crying." So many users got so mad that it ended up on the news. But a few months later, Replika's roleplay features were restored to some users. The inventor of Replika knows how dangerous the app is, stating the biggest risk with chatbots is creating something so addicting over time that people will not pursue human relationships and instead will stay with this AI. These people need to touch grass. The next app on our list is so creepy, it's literally called Creepy. Creepy. Many people post wild comments and argue on social media sites like Twitter. They do this knowing they're safe behind their phones. But what if the person they're arguing with online knew exactly where they were? How dangerous would that be? That's now possible thanks to an app called Creepy. Creepy is an app that allows strangers on the internet to pinpoint anyone's location and create a map of a person's movements. This means someone could follow your daily routine without you knowing, which is a big invasion of privacy. It's scary to imagine what could happen if these were in the hands of terrible people. The creator of Creepy described it as an app tailor-made for stalkers. That raises the question, what kind of person would intentionally create an app for stalkers? Creepy was invented by 26-year-old developer Yanis Kakavas. He built the app in 2011 while he was a graduate student at a German university. Yanis knows how important online privacy is, but despite this, he chose to launch an app that is the ultimate invasion of privacy. But Yanis said he did this to prove a point. In an interview, he explained that he created Creepy to try and raise awareness about privacy in social networking platforms. He explained that he wanted to emphasize how easily small and harmless data people share online can be combined to reveal more information than they expected. He even gave examples of the information his app can find. This includes information about where someone lives, where they work, where they hang out, and when they are not at home. All this private information with just a couple of clicks. So how does an app that someone never signed up for be able to track movement? Whenever someone shares a photo taken with his or her smartphone, services like Flickr, YFrog, and TwitPic automatically record the location where the shot was taken and store that geotag in the image's data. To find anyone using Creepy, just type the person's Twitter or Flickr username and click the geolocate button. The app will then analyze the photos on their social media account, pull up the geolocation data embedded in the images, and place it onto a map like this. It generates a map of where that person is, as well as the specific locations they frequent. It's a little bit like the other app that we talked about in the beginning, but photos aren't the only thing Creepy gets data from. Creepy also analyzes a user's tweets and Facebook posts. Luckily, Yanis revealed the one thing anyone can do to stop Creepy from tracking them. Internet users need to check the settings of the apps or websites they use to upload photos and make sure they've turned off geotagging features. Geotagging is like putting a secret code on a picture that shows exactly where the picture is taken. Yanis explained that some people might not understand what geotagging is and click allow when Twitter asks to use their location without even thinking about it. As long as someone has location detection switched on while using these apps, Creepy can track them using map providers like Google Maps. Even though Yanis seemingly meant well, there's no denying that the app is dangerous. To that, Yanis says if Creepy works, it's the fault of the user. As we've seen, some apps can seem harmless but hold hidden dangers. Be cautious about what you install and share online, because your digital footprint tells a story about you. So write it wisely.